Inde Inna. In other words, hello and welcome to my video. As I typically do for those that actually follow me, I'm learning my ancestral tongue, the Igbo language of Southeast Nigeria. Of course, my maternal grandfather's side of the family descends from the Igbo people. So I believe it's nothing but right to learn the culture, traditions, and language of the people from which I descend. Of course, I'm a student of about a year now and been blessed to come that far and continue to teach my family and friends that are interested in the Igbo language and culture, as well as my family and I actually are using Igbo's traditions and things within our own household, restoring that which was taken from us through the slave trade here in the United States of America, where it was forbidden to speak the Igbo language. It was forbidden to teach anything about Igbo traditions and cultures, to the point of either being tortured or killed in the process. So I don't accept that by any form or fashion. And in my case, I'm undoing history that actually, basically robbed my family of our original tongue as well as a culture. But nonetheless, that's enough on the history lesson here, and won't be long here today. I'm studying the topic of weather. And again, I'm a student, and if you're a native speaker, feel free to correct me as I need correction along the way in order to get this right and to become conversational and fluent as time goes by. One of the things that we always encounter, I don't care in what language you're speaking, you're always going to be talking about the weather. So I thought it'd be prudent to talk about weather terms in the Igbo language. Again, just the first 25 terms are going to give you, as well as if it has a literal translation, I'm going to give those literal translations as well, because that helps me understand the language when you break it down in its smallest elements. At least in my case, it helps me. All right, so let's go for it then. Again, this is just me coming back. This picture on your screen from Nigeria, from Akwa Ibom State, back in 2018. So I know a lot of times when I do these videos, nobody can see what I actually look like. So I just put that up there for a moment so you can see what your speaker looks like, and then we'll go into the lesson. All right, so the first word that I've learned when it comes to weather in the Igbo language is ikuku. Ikuku means air, so just air in general. Again, our context is weather. Ikuku, air. Air pollution, I don't care where you're at, anywhere. When I was in Lagos and other places within Nigeria that were big cities, you had all type of traffic, just like you do here in Chicago, LA, New York, Detroit, wherever you go. And so you're going to have air pollution. And so that's something that you would have to know and understand when you go to Igbo land in Nigeria, if you're going to speak the language there. So air pollution is mmeto. If you notice something, we had ikuku, which is air, but in front of that we have mmeto. So you're basically, remember in Igbo, most of the time, with some exceptions, you always put the subject first and then the adjective after the fact. So you're basically saying pollution, air, but in English we turn it around and say air pollution instead. But it's the same thing and the same concept. Well, in reality, English is very different than most world languages, as we normally put the description then the subject, which is definitely different than most languages, especially those that are Latin based. All right, so again, air pollution is mmeto. And you may notice I'm not pronouncing that I in ikuku, which that's not the actual name of the letter in Igbo. I'm just using the English translation or the English pronunciation of the letters to keep it simple. But remember, in Igbo, you do things like contractions in English. I like to use all the time. Like many times we don't say do not, we'll say don't. So you squeeze the words together and you eliminate some of the letters. You do the same thing in Igbo as well. So that's why you're not hearing me saying mmeto-ikuku. Instead, I'm saying mmeto-kuku for air pollution. Again, mmeto-kuku, air pollution. All right. Let's move on. I don't have a literal translation of atmosphere, but atmosphere is Um-Bah-Rah Ee-Gway. Um-Bah-Rah Ee-Gway for atmosphere. Again, Um-Bah-Rah Ee-Gway, atmosphere. And again, the pronunciation also in Igbo is different than what you see on the screen. What looks like an I is actually pronounced as an E, and anything that looks like an E is pronounced as an A. So that's why you have Um-Bah-Rah Ee-Gway for atmosphere. Okay, avalanche in Nigeria tells me there's some words that have been borrowed from English, just like English borrows Greek, Latin, and other words. Igbo will borrow some words from other languages and basically make it sound more Igbo, even though it's typically an English word. So for avalanche, you would say avalanchi, avalanche, avalanchi, avalanche. Again, avalanchi, avalanche. Okay. Barometer would be baromita, baromita for barometer. So again, baromita, barometer. Okay. For barometric pressure, it's a little bit more involved. Instead of 3 words, it'll be 2 words. You will have 3 words in Igbo, and it would be Au-Kwoe-Kwah En-Kay Bah-Roe-Me-Tah. And you break that down literally as Au-Kwoe-Kwah, which means level. En-Kay means of, and Baromita, which you already know means barometer. So what you're literally saying, you're saying level of the barometer. So that's how you get barometric pressure in the Igbo language. So again, it's Au-Kwoe-Kwah En-Kay Bah-Roe-Me-Tah. Au-Kwoe-Kwah En-Kay Bah-Roe-Me-Tah. Barometric pressure. Blizzard. Blizzard. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, what are you talking about when it comes to snow and all that kind of stuff when you're talking about Africa? Igbos that live around the globe, you know, in London, you know, other parts of the United Kingdom, the U.S. here as well. So, you know, Igbos are going to be very familiar with all 4 seasons. And so obviously there's going to be Igbos that have gone through blizzards like basically my family grew up in Michigan, where I'm originally from. So to pronounce a blizzard, you're basically describing a concept. So you would be saying oke-ikuku Snow. And obviously snow would be borrowed from the English language. Oke-ikuku, you'll see that quite a bit throughout this lesson on weather. And that just basically means storm. And you basically describe the type of storm, which is snow. So you're basically saying snowstorm. So it's a blizzard. So oke-ikuku Snow, blizzard. Again, oke-ikuku Snow, blizzard. Okay. Breeze. Now, it basically is saying air cool or cool air in English. Again, it would be Ikuku, which you'll see a lot in this lesson. Again, it just means air. And Oh-Yee means cool. So you're saying air cool, which we translate in English to simplify it as a breeze, a cool breeze, basically. So Ikuku Oh-Yee, breeze. Again, Ikuku Oh-Yee, breeze. Climate, I don't have the literal breakdown of that, but climate is 2 words, Ihu Ee-Gway, Ihu Ee-Gway, climate. So again, Ihu Ee-Gway, climate. Cloud, you'll see that a lot too throughout the Igbo language when it comes to weather from what I've researched so far. Cloud would be urukpu, urukpu for cloud. Again, urukpu, cloud. Okay, cold, you've already experienced this one. But it's just to say cold in general, it'd be Oh-Yee, cold. Oh-Yee, cold. Remember the I character is an E sound. Oh-Yee, cold. Okay, cold front. This was an interesting way I found for it to be described. Again, you're describing a concept, so you use a couple words to do it. It would be Ihu-oyi. You've already been introduced to the word Oh-Yee. Oh-Yee means cold, and Ihu literally means face, so that which is facing you, in other words, the front of something. So you're saying front cold, in other words, again, but you know, we translate it in English as cold front, but it means the same thing. So it's Ihu-oyi, cold front. Again, Ihu-oyi, cold front. Condensation. You know, the little droplets that you find around, you know, the outside, whatever the case may be. It's Odide, condensation. Odide, condensation. Again, Odide, condensation. All right. Cool, not cold, but cool is Ee-Ju-Yee, cool. Ee-Ju-Yee, cool. So this is one again that you're basically running two words together. And so you eliminate one of the vowels and the O is dropped in this case. So it becomes Ee-Ju-Yee, not Ee-Ju-oyi, but Ee-Ju-Yee for cool. A cyclone in Igbo would be Cyclone, Cyclone for cyclone. Again, this is one where you're dropping a vowel, you're dropping the A. So it's Cyclone for cyclone. Cyclone, cyclone. All right, degree. And I put Celsius up there because the US, we're kind of odd when it comes to our measurement system compared to the rest of the world, whether it be Europe or Africa. Most are on the metric system while we have our own thing, like we go by Fahrenheit. But in reality, in Africa and a lot of parts of Europe, you're going to go by Celsius. So I put the little Celsius symbol up there. Again, this is basically a word that's pretty much adapted from English. For degree, you basically are saying degree. It doesn't look like it, but that's what you're basically saying in Igbo. Degree, kind of like stressing the last part of it. Degree for degree. Degree for degree. Okay, dew. The dew that's on the plants when you first wake up and go outside. It's Igi-Rigi for dew. Igi-Rigi for dew. Again, Igi-Rigi for dew. Dew point. In this case, all you're doing is adding a word to do, which we just talked about. But again, you do it the opposite of English. You'll put point dew instead of dew point. So point dew is Ebe Igi-Rigi. Ebe Igi-Rigi. So again, Ebe Igi-Rigi is dew point. Because Ebe means point and Igi-Rigi means dew. So again, Ebe Igi-Rigi, dew point. Okay, for a very heavy rain, which we'll call a downpour that is in the U.S., it would be Inuku Mmiri Ozuzo. And you're basically saying the following. Inuku, in the beginning word, that means great, and Mmiri Ozuzo, the last two words, means rain. So again, you're saying a great rain, which we say for short in the U.S. would be downpour or heavy rain, however you want to say it. But again, it's Inuku Mmiri Ozuzo. Inuku Mmiri Ozuzo, downpour. Almost done. Here's, we just got a few more. Thanks for hanging with me and learning the language with me. For drizzle, meaning a light rain, the opposite of what we just discussed, you would say Obere Mmiri Ozuzo. Notice we're adding the word Obere. Obere means small or little. And Mmiri Ozuzo, as we talked about, means rain. So you're saying a little rain or a small rain, which we call a drizzle or a light rain. So it's Obere Mmiri Ozuzo, drizzle. Again, obere mmiri ozuzo, drizzle or light rain. All right, a drought, which happens here in the U.S. as well as a whole lot of places, including Africa. It's unwu for drought. Unwu, drought. Again, unwu, drought. Okay, dry, which is related to drought. I don't have the literal translation, but it's Ipa-Inko. Ipa-Inko. So those two words there. Ipa-Inko means dry. So again, Ipa-Inko, dry. Okay. The next one is dust devil. We don't see those too much in Alabama or Michigan or Tennessee where I live, but I'm sure you encountered those out west, probably Oklahoma, Kansas, somewhere out there in the breadbasket of the United States, including probably Texas. But to say dust devil, you would basically say Aja-Queen-Su for dust devil. Now this is one in which you don't change around the subject and the description. It's just exactly as it sounds or looks. Aja means dust. You can also mean sand. Aja, the first word. And of course, we do have to pay attention to the accent marks over Aja. So really, if to say it correctly, I'm supposed to say Aja, Aja. I'm supposed to say it in a high tone, because Igbo is a tone language. You know, saying something in a lower tone changes the meaning. So it's actually Aja-Queen-Su, Aja-Queen-Su for dust devil. Again, Aja means sand, and the next word is actually Queen-Su, which means devil. So you're saying literally dust devil. But again, this is one of those words where you have to drop a vowel. So you drop the first E. And that's why you don't hear me say Queen-Su. I'm saying Queen-Su instead. So put it all together. It's Aja-Queen-Su, dust devil. Again, Aja-Queen-Su, dust devil. Okay, dust storm is similar. You've already been introduced to the words that make it up. You've been introduced to Aja, which means sand or dust, and Oke-Ikuku, which means storm, which we talked about earlier. So dust storm would be Aja Oke-Ikuku. Aja Oke-Ikuku for dust storm. Again, Aja is sand and Oke-Ikuku is storm. But again, I'm not saying oke-ikuku. As you see on the screen, you drop that I that's in Ifufe. So again, it becomes Aja Oke-Ikuku, dust storm. All right, let's continue as we are going to end right here on this one. An easterly wind, in other words, a wind that comes from the east would be, in this case, you would keep the eye on ikuku. So it's ikuku en-kay ista, easterly wind. So ikuku is air, and en-kay means of, meaning from a certain area, and ista is east. So you're basically saying air from the east, which means an easterly wind. So ikuku en-kay ista, easterly wind. I'm going to go ahead and end here, and probably next week this time, going ahead and give the next 25 of these that I know from weather. Weather seems to be a very big topic in Igbo, so there's a lot of terms for different atmosphere or different phenomena, is a better way of saying it, within the atmosphere, and of course this topic of weather. Well, thanks for joining me. Take care. God bless. Have a good night. Bye-bye.